Hey everyone, Lucian Rienzi here, and in this video I'm going to show you the way I used to pitch my services as a brand new agency owner that still allowed me to close a bunch of clients even though I had no social proof, no credibility, and no track record. So this is called the brutal competence pitch, and it's called that for a reason. The whole theme, the whole point of this pitch right here is to show and lean on the fact that you are brutally competent in this certain skill set. So for example, I've written here, this is the way I used to pitch my simple Google Ads service that would make clients go, wow, we need this, Lucian, even though they'd been offered Google Ads a dozen times in the past, and initially they weren't interested at all. So I used to use this method to close people on like a €2,500 setup fee, which is maybe like $3,000, and a €950 per month retainer. And the only thing I used to do was set up landing pages and run Google Ads campaigns for them. And I'd also have no guarantee of results. So it's like, again, I used to pitch such simple services, but using this method right here, this framework, and it used to work so well. So let's just run into it straight away. It's all about the detail. Detail. That's the key to this pitching method. You want to show as much as you can. Genuinely, my pitches used to be anywhere between 25, 30, and even 40 minutes long. Right? Seems crazy, but I promise you this used to work so well, and it still does work so well. And I guarantee that if you try this, it will work well for you. You've got to feel like you're giving a masterclass. I'll explain what this means in a second. But if you doubt this at any point, by the way, if you're watching this video going, Lucian, maybe this used to work for you, I'm sure, but now things are different, the market is different. A month and maybe like 6 weeks ago, I closed a $10,000 deal. You can see here, he paid $9,996 upfront using this exact pitching method. So let that sink in. Even now, when I have tons of social proof, tons of credibility, all this kind of stuff, I closed a $10,000 deal using this framework of pitching, the brutal competence pitch. Okay? So when to use this, if you sell straightforward offer, we covered this already. It's like if you just sell basic things like Google Ads, SEO, Facebook ads, website redesigns, etc., or when it's difficult to give an exact outcome. So like if your offer is like, hey, we'll book in 25 meetings guaranteed, you don't need this pitching method, okay? But if it's like we run your Google Ads so you can get more leads, this pitching method is perfect, okay? And when you don't have much else to lean on, like me, I used to have no social proof, not an insane offer, just like a really good product or service, okay? Now, let's just get straight into it. When also, like, to not use this, if you sell like an info product or training B2C, don't use this. And if you sell like a multi-benefit offer, you want to adapt this a little bit. I have another tutorial, the hybrid pitch, that's better for like appointment setting plus like qualification. When you have like a service that has multiple different things to it and it all has to tie in together to work properly, then use a different method. But if it's like a straightforward thing, like we generate leads on Google Ads, this is by far the best way to pitch it. Okay. Key points. I cannot stress this enough. You have to show people how your product or service actually works behind the scenes. You've got to illustrate in detail how much of an expert you are at this specific thing. And I want you to treat it as if you're trying to teach someone something. That's the key point. Your whole frame here, you're going to use the teaching framework, is you're trying to actually teach someone, okay? You almost want to make it so detailed that you will bore people. You won't actually bore them, don't worry, but like make it that detailed. And you want to feel like you're giving away all of your secrets. Now, why does it work so well? Because your target audience will be busy business owners, right? You're not going to do lead generation for a business owner that has nothing to do all day. Otherwise, he'd just do it himself. And if he's not got anything to do all day, but he's still trying to fix his business, he wouldn't be a good client anyway. Okay, so a good client is a busy business owner that, for example, needs more leads. Okay, no matter how much detail you show them regarding how you actually do X, Y, Z, so for example, your Google Ads, they're not going to have the time or energy to copy you or steal your method and do it themselves. Instead, they're going to be super impressed with your level of competence and just hire you to do it. Believe me, this happened every single time. People were like, wow, that's so impressive. Like, Lucian, with that presentation, I could have probably just learned how to do it myself, but I want you to do it for me, okay? It's so important you actually try to teach people something. Now, key aspects, teaching framework and presentation. Super simple. What's the teaching framework? Just think of it this way. What would you do and say if you're trying to genuinely teach someone how to do the thing as well as you do it, right? How much detail would you give? How would you illustrate each point? How would you talk? Okay, your goal at every slide should be to make sure that the prospect understands exactly what you're talking about to the point where they could maybe go and do it themselves. So if you're saying, we do Google Ads, the way we do Google Ads is this. The reason why we do this is that. Here's how to do it properly. You want it to be almost like a mini tutorial, a mini masterclass. I cannot stress that enough. Okay, so the framework, your mindset, right, is I'm trying to teach my prospect something, even I'm trying to pitch them to close them. Okay, now presentation. This is a visual demo deck you create to illustrate the points you are making. Okay, here's an example. I'll open up for you guys right now. So this is like the actual demo deck I've used to make like tens of thousands of dollars, probably even hundreds of thousands of dollars at this point, okay? So simple. Look how simple the slides are. There's no crazy design. It's just like nice big text, just with like images and graphics and just like lists. And look, it's like there's lots of detail. There's a bunch of stuff, right? Look at all this text. Normally someone will tell you, Lucian, terrible, presentation shouldn't be like this. We're not trying to do a presentation here, guys. We're trying to give a pitch. And the way of pitching is we're trying to teach someone something, okay? So let's go back to it. Contrary to popular belief, like I just said, you want to make your slides detailed. Remember, we're trying to teach something here. Okay, so you want to make your slides so good and so detailed that people ask you to send the slides over at the end. Believe me, even clients have closed. They'll be like, Lucian, can you just send me the slides anyway? That was so good. Like maybe we'll need it in the future, okay? Tip, create your presentation as if you're making a masterclass or webinar. I promise you, do it this way. Like, I'm going to show you guys how to actually build the presentation, right? But do it this way, like where you're like, okay, I'm trying to genuinely teach someone something. Pretend like they've already paid you for the information. I'm actually going to write that there. Pretend like they've already paid you for the info. Now you have to deliver value, right? Genuinely pretend that and it'll make it so much easier. Okay, so here's the framework to follow for the actual presentation itself. You do a quick intro. You give the overall goal / result you're trying to get them. You tell them about your general method and then you lay out the plan. And then following on from the plan, you have your subsection, which is your 3 to 5 points. So it's like main point, clarify the point, give the goal of that specific point, polarize to show why you're so much better than the competition, what the competition normally does wrong and how you can fix that. Give some detail and then a quick summary. And you repeat these subsections right here for each point, okay? And then at the end, you do some social proof or leverage, and then a summary. So here's some examples below. Introduction. We do lead generation for vacation rental management, okay? Overall goal, we want to help you get more properties. General method, we're going to do that by capturing you high-quality leads in the most cost-effective way. The plan, step 1, Google Ads. Step 2, landing pages. Step 3, active management, okay? And then you go straight into it. Point 1 is Google Ads. Clarity. How do Google Ads work? Imagine, like, teach someone, like, what is Google Ads? Here's what Google Ads is. Here's how it works, okay? Goal, specific point. The specific goal for Google Ads is to be visible to prospective clients who are searching for your services. The goal for Google Ads isn't to convert people. The goal is to get in front of people. And then, for example, if we go to the landing page section, the goal of the landing pages is to then convert the traffic. But the goal of the Google Ads is to be in front of the right people. So that's what we mean by specific goal, okay? Polarize. Here's what most people do. They have terrible ads, basically, repetitive title, no hook, no bold offer, etc., etc. Here's how we do it that's way better. And the consequence of doing it badly is that. The benefit of doing it correctly is this, okay? Detail, detail, detail. Keep going. Keep polarizing. Keep giving more detail. Keep saying, here's what you should do. Here's what you shouldn't do in terms of Google Ads. Act like you're actually trying to teach them how to run a good Google Ads account, okay? And then summary. Summary for the specific point. In summary, if you have properly targeted ads plus well-written headlines and descriptions, you're going to get high-quality traffic at a cost that makes sense, okay? Then you go to your next point and you loop around. Point, clarity, goal, specific goal, polarize, detail, summary. Keep looping around until you finish your points. And then at the end, you give some social proof or leverage. I always used to say this, like, data is king. I have key data regarding this, this, and that. I used to say this because I had like no case studies or testimonials or reviews or anything at all, right? So I just made up some leverage. I was like, yeah, I got the key data. I know exactly what ads to run in what locations, all this kind of stuff. Okay, social proof, and then summary. It's just like game plan. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do this next. And then at the end, you can do your commitment phase. I promise you guys, it seems so simple, and it's maybe like you've been taught the complete opposite when it comes to pitching or like presentations or whatever, but I promise you, like, the proof is in the pudding. You guys can watch this video right here of me performing this pitch live to someone, and at the end of it, I close them for $10,000 up front. Like, you can see here the case study, like, on my website. Okay? Like, you can see me here performing the exact pitch, like, demo deck that I showed you guys in the example, right? So it's super easy to do, but do it properly, and I promise you're going to get fantastic results. Now, super important points. When performing this pitch, do not perform it like a presentation, okay? I want you to stop at the end of every slide and say to someone, does that make sense? And then they'll probably say yes. And then I want you to say what questions do you have specifically about this slide. This is so important, okay? Because when you say to someone, does that make sense? At the end of, for example, this slide right here, when I'm saying how to do well-crafted ad headlines and descriptions, I go, make sense? They'll always just go like, yeah. Then you go, what questions do you have specifically? And they're going to go, oh, actually, Lucian, how does that work in terms of that? Or how is that going to relate to our thing? Or blah, 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 blah. They're going to give you the real question, and then you can handle the question, answer it, so that later on, it's not an objection, okay? Remember, this is a pitch. A pitch is a conversation, which equals building clarity. Never, never forget that your pitch should build clarity. I don't want you to just blitz through this and then at the end of it in the summary go, what questions do you have? Because people are going to have 100 questions they're not going to remember, and then you're screwed. And then a bunch of objections, and then it'll be more difficult to close. So that has been the brutal competence pitch. Remember, it works. It used to work for me when I was a beginner. It still works for me now, okay? It's super simple, super straightforward. Act like you're actually trying to teach someone something, okay? Create your presentation as if you're making a masterclass or a webinar and pretend like they've already paid for the information. All you have to do now is deliver. And I promise you, by the end of this, someone's going to go, wow, Lucian, or wow, whoever you are, you're so good at this thing, I'm just going to hire your company to do it. You're so good at, for example, fixing Facebook ad campaigns, I'm just going to hire you guys to fix and run our Facebook ads. Okay? Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you need any help with this at all, find some way to reach out to me. Leave a comment on this video. Go to my website, lucianrienzi.com. Find a way to reach me and I'll help you. If you need anything in terms of sales training, let me know. I've got your back, and I'll see you guys in the next video.